everyone, and thank you for joining us on High Review today. Let's have a look at what made the headlines this week. Political observers cast doubt on the non-publication of electoral calendar of Cameroon. Some say it is a way to prolong the stay in office of members of municipal, legislative, and executive structures. Plus, Bamenda inhabitants welcomed the World Bank's approval of 30 billion francs CFA to finance the construction and rehabilitation of roads within the city. They show joy after having suffered from poor road infrastructure for a long time now. And the foundation stone for the construction of the center that will host the fabrication of identity cards in Cameroon within 48 hours has been laid in Yaoundé. And those are the week's striking stories. Stay with us, we'll bring details and more right ahead. Many thanks for choosing High Television to be informed. I am Cynthia Latu. As you heard in one of our lead stories, identity cards will be produced in Cameroon within 48 hours. This was emphasized by police boss Martin Bagangele as the foundation stone of the Etudi Center in Yaoundé was laid. 2 other centers will be constructed in Yaoundé, in Douala and Garoua. The issuance within this short period of time is set to begin at the end of 2025. The details with Tamfu Claudine.
Following the announcement by the Director General of National Security, Martin Bagangele, last year, 2023, on the fabrication of national identity cards within 48 hours, the laying of the foundation stone of Ipionne Center at the Etudi New Administration Center and revealing the national production plan.
Concretely, this would permit the fast production of identity card across the national territory, adding to the 3 major sites. Enrollment and identification centers will be in the 58 divisions of the country, the renovation of all existing centers, and the creation of identification units in councils that do not have the new system and in population.
A point where the Director General of National Security reiterates all stakeholders must play their roles. The same activity in the days ahead will be carried out in Douala and Garoua, 2 of the major sites by the technical partners Ajantic. Reassure the modernization of the operation from registration, production and deliverance for a duration of 2 days. It will be happily welcomed by all if it comes to realization.
Some elderly persons, sick, and persons living with disabilities and internally displaced in Buea and other neighboring localities have benefited from free medical screening, foodstuff donation, and other assorted items. This was made possible by a charitable non-governmental organization called the CAMAT, as we hear in the following report compiled by Alice Kamelik here.
Following the announcement by the Director General of National Security, Martin Bagangele, last year, 2023, on the fabrication of national identity cards within 48 hours, the laying of the foundation stone of Ipionne Center at the Etudi New Administration Center and revealing the national production plan.
Concretely,
in giving back to their community, Kemat, a charitable organization, was in Buea over the weekend, reaching out to the neighboring communities.
It's derived from the children, the seeds God gave me from my marriage. And we are here today just to give back to the community. How far God has brought us. Little, and we felt in our hearts that whatever He has given us, we have to share. We can't keep it within us. We have to give back to the community. So that's one of the reasons we are out here today, taking care of the elderly, feeding the hungry, clothing the naked. Not that like they are really naked, they're not naked, but we know that taking care of the less privileged, I put it that way.
Coming back from the diaspora, the Kemat started the day by teaching about Jesus to the people and giving them the word. The population made up of the sick, elderly, handicapped, IDPs were opportuned to benefit from the Kemats.
We are trying to support the people from different parts of the Southeast region. We have people from all the way from Tico, we have people from My 18, we have from Mutenge, we have people from Bokwai. We're supporting them with their clothes, there's some food stuff, food items that are being shared out to the people, and then also there's some medical checkup that is being done here. So basic checkups like blood pressure, blood sugar, and then there's also some few medical devices that will be handed over to the people.
Medical practitioners were on seat to attend to the population.
So what we are doing
SBS
is
72.
just helping the patients to know their blood sugar, either the random or the fasting, for those who have eaten, for those who have not eaten. And then we are running a rapid diagnostic test for malaria.
Well, the activity is going on smoothly for now. There are people with a little bit high blood pressure, some people with temperature, especially the elderly. They have this tendency that when they see the BP machine, they become nervous. So it definitely will increase the blood pressure.
To the beneficiaries, it was a full package. To these young Kemats, coming home and giving assistance to the elderly is a privilege to him.
This experience, I found it, for me, it's been fun because I've been able to help a lot of the grandmas and the fathers that haven't been able to walk around on their own, so I've been able to help them with that, as well as carry the stuff to where it's supposed to sit down and direct them to where they need to go. And the entire experience for me has been pretty fun because normally with me, I like sitting down, so this experience of getting up and helping other people has been it's new to me. Actually, no, not that new, just more so more invigorating for me. So I find it more joyful helping other people.
Apart from food stuff, the Kemat also gave out clothing, shoes, bags, and other items to the population.
Away from that, Cameroonian medical practitioners, reportedly one of the most poorly remunerated in Central Africa, have resorted to traveling out of the country where they hope for a better living standards. The country's Minister of Higher Education, Jacques Famdongo, says 2/3 of medical practitioners upon graduation are already leaving the shores of Cameroon. Aisha Mbeng tells us more.
According to 2023 report from the World Health Organization, while the number of health workers have been increased after the COVID-19 pandemic in several countries, almost 75% of African nations still experience medical staff shortages and high rates of healthcare professionals leaving to work abroad. Cameroon is not an exception, as it has one of the world's lowest ratios of health workers per capita. According to the Minister of Higher Education, Jacques Famdongo, about a third of trained doctors who graduated from medical school last year left the country. Many doctors and nurses are leaving Cameroon for more lucrative jobs in Europe and North America, most especially as Canada, like Cameroon, have official languages of English and French. Following the latest report from World Health Organization data, Cameroon has fewer than 7 nurses per 10,000 inhabitants, while neighboring Nigeria has more than double that ratio and Canada has more than 14-fold. In order to increase Cameroon's health facility, late last year, the Canadian government donated around $2.2 million to Cameroon's health ministry and delivered medical and monetary equipment as part of Canada's global initiative for vaccine equity. But such investment falls far short of needs, as Dr. Peter Louis Ndifo says the government employs around 100 doctors each year for a population of around 28 million, and the vice president of the Cameroon Medical Council, a doctors association, says the numbers are even lower in the private sector, which prompts problem of health workers leaving Cameroon. Notably, the shortage of health workers is just part of Cameroon's current health crisis, as more than 210 health facilities are no longer functional because of destruction and abandonment by health personnel during the conflicts in the northwest and southwest regions of the country, with thousands of people killed over the past several years. In conclusion, according to latest reports from the Canadian Express Entry, Cameroonians are among the top nationalities applying for Canadian visa, but the Health Ministry is yet to respond to questions about the high number of health workers leaving the country.
Let's talk about religion now. Muslim faithfuls in Buea have been called upon to uphold the values that Islam upholds, or Islam incarnates. The call was made by the Grand Imam of the Buea Islamic Central Mosque during activities to commemorate El-Hajj Adha celebrations in the town of legendary hospitality. Etengeneng Larry joined the celebration in our report.
The Muslim community in Buea all turned out massively at the various prayer grounds in the town of Buea for the commemoration of the Feast of Ram, as one of the high points was the esplanade at the Buea Islamic Complex, where hundreds of Allah's worshippers trooped in.
So we looked at the community and the country at large in Africa. We've seen that because of lack of faith, even the little faith that we have, we do not trust in God. One thing to be done with almost urgently. The Prophet Abraham spent 80 plus years asking God to bless him with a child.
During his Umrah or sermon, the Grand Imam of Buea encourages all to embrace love, trust in God, and values for humanity.
So the human life should be valued. Should be valued. We think that there should be solidarity, love, cooperation, and keep away hatred and hypocrisy in all our way of doing things in life.
The different followers of Muhammad were all quite excited for the privilege of life for such a day.
I'm so happy. I am so excited, and I am privileged to be part of the feast. It's not everybody that has the opportunity to be here today.
To others, the main message preached was a reminder for them to embrace collective development.
All of my brothers and sisters, the Muslim and the non-Muslim outside, we should all come together to see how we can develop, let me say, our area, our mindset, our society, and all the like. It's very, very important coming together.
As the 2024 Eid al-Adha sacrifice sees the dawn in the town of Buea, all has been called upon to love and share with one another as we see happy commemoration of Feast of Ram to all Muslims.
A non-profit organization called the Berlin Bokwe Foundation, based in the Southwest region, has launched a project called Maternal Health Empowerment in Meme Division. The aim is to promote accessibility and quality health care, as you tell us Alice Kamelik here.
Every day, approximately 830 women die from preventable causes related to pregnancy and childbirth. Cameroon's maternal mortality level is at 782 maternal deaths as per 100,000 live births in sub-Saharan Africa. Having this burden, Berlin and Bokwe Foundation has this June 18 launched the project Maternal Health Empowerment in Mato, Cameroon.
The goal of this project is to provide and to promote accessible and high-quality maternal health care services to pregnant women in the Mato community. And this project is going to be carried out in different phases. First of all, we are going to establish a maternal health mobile hub, which we call it MHMH, that will be carrying emergency cases from this Mato health unit to reference hospital.
In promoting accessible and quality maternal health care in Mato community, the foundation made their visit to the Council of Elders who bought their vision. They also went to the health center to look at the condition under which delivery is conducted.
When you get belle, you get for do scanning to know whether the pikin they fine. I doubt whether they do one for you. They know they do one. Yes. You have to do echography. We are going to carry out also community sensitization on the importance of antenatal care.
Sensitizing the women and pregnant women in Mato, Berin and Bokwe Foundation saw how this project will be of great help to the community.
It's going to train nurses and it's going to help to encourage the women not to deliver at home.
According to the women in Mato, they have been going through some challenges.
Really, there's nothing that I can say more than be joyful as I am. We thank Mary Bokwe and the people whom she has brought here. The Mato community was too backwards. We never knew that this type of a thing can come inside us to motivate us.
Berin and Bokwe Foundation intends to distribute birth kits and necessary drugs to pregnant women, train and build capacity of 25 community health workers and unskilled bed attendants.
We move over to the economic capital city, Yaoundé, where a roundtable conference has concluded with participants urged to fight against gender-based violence. The session was organized on May 20th by the Kafu Policy Institute. Reader details with Sonny Tangui.
The roundtable organized by the Nkrafo Policy Institute, a think tank of the Ferretta Foundation on June 20, was aimed at raising awareness of identified challenges facing women's empowerment. Despite making up more than half of the population, women in Eka still face low literacy rate, unfavorable land ownership policies, limited access to credit, among others.
Law says that all the customs and usages which are repugnant to natural justice, equity and good conscience should not be applied, but we still have a lot to do, most especially as to advocacy, so that everyone knows that some of these bad customs and usages which affect women and girls negatively should not be applied.
To the board chair of Hope for the Needy Association, women have the intrinsic power to lift the patriarchal system.
We have 31 women in parliament, 31% of women in parliament. That is good, a good start. Let us consolidate that game and build on it. Women should continue to uplift other women. Please do not put women down. Work in synergy. If you see your sister who is doing something good, validate them, congratulate them, uplift them, share their experiences with one another. That's why I'm working with Zen. I work with people who deliver the goods. And if I know that I cannot do it, I will call on somebody who can do it. Know your strengths, know your weaknesses, and turn your opportunities or your threats to opportunities.
During the enriching session, the participants identified customs and traditions as not favorable to women, while encouraging collective efforts in ending gender-based violence.
The laws are existing, both regional, national and international, but women have a big role to play as far as their empowerment is concerned. They talked about emotional intelligence, they talked about synergies and all of that, and I think that is what women really need in this dispensation. Education of the girl child, helping them to understand that they can become whatever they want to become and they can go any length that they want to become. So that's a take-home message for me. We're not waiting for somebody to come do it for us. We are grabbing it by ourselves.
It is thus imperative that women should make the menu at the dining table and not be the menu by also sensitizing and educating their fellow women on women empowerment.
Cameroon joined the international community yesterday to commemorate World Music Day. In the report that comes up next, Aisha Bank trails the history and significance of this day. Let's follow on.
Every June 21st of each year, the world celebrates music through World Music Day. This global event is also known as Fête de la Musique in French. On this day, streets, parks, plazas and other public areas transforms into lively stages. Musicians of all genres and backgrounds come together to share their love for music, performing for enthusiastic crowds, from classical orchestras to rock bands, from solo acoustic artists to electronic DJs. World Music Day showcases a diverse array of musical expressions. In all, the essence of World Music Day lies in its inclusivity. It breaks down barriers and connects people from different walks of life through the shared experience of music. It is hence a day to appreciate the beauty and diversity of musical traditions from around the globe, fostering a sense of unity and cultural exchange. Additionally, World Music Day also emphasizes the importance of music in our lives, as music has the power to evoke emotions, tell stories, and bring comfort. It can also inspire, change, provide solace, and create memories. To conclude, by celebrating World Music Day, we acknowledge the vital role that music plays in our societies and in our personal lives.
Also, over the week, Cameroon joined the world to commemorate the International Day of Refugee. This year's edition is themed Solidarity with Refugee for a World Where Refugees Are Welcomed. Details with Aisha Mbeng once again.
Every June 20th of each year, the World Health Organization joins the UN High Commission for Refugees, the UN Refugee Agency, and partners in observing World Refugee Day. In line with this year 2024 themes, Solidarity with Refugees, WHO emphasizes the importance of building inclusive health systems and ensuring equitable care for refugees worldwide. In commemoration of this day, the WHO further highlights solidarity and health, celebrates refugees' resilience, advocates for their health rights, and strives to create a world where everyone, regardless of migratory status, enjoys universal access to quality health care. According to the UN High Commissioner for Refugees, it estimates that by mid-2023, over 110 million individuals worldwide were forcibly displaced, with 40% being children, while 75% of these displaced individuals are hosted in low and middle-income countries. Worthy of note is the fact that refugees are not merely recipients of care, but active contributors to health systems globally, serving as skilled health care professionals, cultural mediators, and advocates for equitable access. In the meantime, WHO's World Report on the Health of Refugees and Migrants highlights their impactful roles, emphasizing the importance of including refugees in decision-making processes, which enhances service quality and cultural competence. In a nutshell, as we celebrate their resilience and honor their contributions on this day, we recognize the challenges refugees face and the urgent need for global solidarity. Despite not inherently less healthy, millions in vulnerable situations experience poorer health outcomes due to substandard living and working conditions. So, prioritizing refugees' rights to timely, accessible, affordable, acceptable, and dignified health care is crucial for achieving health for all.
And the world has celebrated the International Day for the Elimination of Sexual Violence and Conflict. The victims of rape in all diversity continue to be used as war tactics. The 2024 theme emphasized that victims or survivors be treated in the community and be provided a safe space, including infrastructures. Alice Komedi tells us more.
2008, the United Nations Security Council resolutions created the International Day for the Elimination of Sexual Violence and Conflict in a bid to recognize conflict-related sexual violence as a tactic of war and threat to international peace and security. The purpose of this observance is to stand in solidarity with survivors and those supporting them, to spark hope, knowledge, and inspiration as voices are lifted up to say, end rape in war. Conflict-related sexual violence occurs every now and then in crisis zones, just like in the northwest and southwest regions of Cameroon that has recorded a number of rape cases following the Anglophone crisis. Whether against women, girls, men, boys, all in their diversity, continues to be used as a tactic of war, torture, and terrorism aimed at deepening political and security crises. Hospital security is critical in helping survivors of sexual violence heal. The world is currently experiencing the highest number of conflicts since World War II. Attacks on individuals' infrastructures, such as healthcare facilities, are intensifying, depriving communities of fundamental rights. As the 2024 theme goes, hoping for better future, it is important to change the norms, including how survivors are perceived and treated in their communities, creating safe space, including providing infrastructures and reporting practices. A call on all in conflict zones to avoid hazardous situations, communicate your limits clearly, be assertive, trust in your instincts, and respond physically.
22 young people, including 5 ladies and a pregnant lady, have been arrested in Kumba 2 in a raid led by the divisional officer of Kumba 2. The raid took place over the week. Aisha Mbeng reports.
Kumba 2 police have arrested 22 young people, including 5 girls and a pregnant woman, on June 15 in a raid targeting suspected drug users in the Yawusa quarter. The operation, led by the divisional officer Edwin Kenangwana, aimed to address resident concerns about drug use in the area. Many residents, like Aliyu Mohammed, the Hausa leader, expressed relief and hope that the arrest would deter future drug use.
Really a nuisance. Our children are losing their way, and we expect our grandchildren to follow suit. So we have to do everything in our power to stop it. So we are thankful for the authorities for that. But we need to do more. This is just the beginning. We really need to do more. Our mothers and our daughters are crying.
According to reports, the pregnant woman had told officers that she used drugs for pleasure and for clubbing.
It's just like self pleasure. Self pleasure, like someone who loves to drink, or someone who loves to go to club. It's self pleasure.
In the meantime, the DO Ngwana could not help but emphasize zero tolerance for drug use in Kumba 2, warning users to leave the subdivision or face arrest.
Taking time to talk, to sensitize, to preach to them, to educate them. We are discovering that this idea of youth drugging themselves is taking an alarming rate within our community, which we cannot accept any longer. Those who think that they will continue with this activity, they should leave Kumba 2, because Kumba 2 will be too hot for them.
This raid marks the largest number of suspected drug users apprehended in Kumba 2, though not the first such operation. The DO further reassures continued efforts to educate youths about the dangers of drug use.
You're watching High Review, a rundown of the week's news-making events on High Television. Political observers from the opposition party in Cameroon have expressed worries about the non-publication of the electoral calendar by President Paul Biya. They say that this is a move to prolong the staying mandate of parliamentarians and municipal figures. Larry Kelvin Etengening tells us more in the report that comes up next.
With just 74 days left before the elections Cameroon register closes, some political figures like Cabrali Brie are on the offensive regarding the delay in the publication of the electoral calendar. His point has drawn diverse points from different political pundits.
Parties and people should not be fixated on presidential elections only and forget the importance of municipal and parliamentary elections. He is right, because that is the serious mistake that the MRC made, and today they are paying a heavy price for it.
According to some political analysts and the public, are quite aware of the absence of this dysfunction of the electoral system that has not been published, as these, according to them, would trigger electoral fraud, with the president delaying in the publication of the electoral calendar, thus prolonging the stay of municipal and legislative authorities that will further worsen these issues. Cabral Libri points out, highlights that a single party cannot dictate the electoral calendar to the detriment of other opposition parties.
The president could decide that the presidential election should come before the municipal and parliamentary elections, and he can do that by extending the mandate of the current people in the municipalities and in parliament.
His statements are a wake-up call to Cameroonians to wake up from their slumber and demand for the right thing to be done. This recent point of his has drawn great admiration from persons who are looking at the other side of the political divide.
The main stretch of road in the capital city, Buea, is damaged. Drivers and users have expressed concerns about the effects that this road have on their vehicles as they ply on the road. They voiced their concerns to Larry Kelvin Tengening over the week. Let's have a listen.
The poor state of roads in the southwest regional capital of Buea is quite alarming, as the deplorable state of roads from the Mile 16 to the Mile 17 neighborhood are quite telling.
Tire the bend again, and tire don't dear now, from 8,000 to 15,000 now. First time we buy one tire na 8,000, 8,000, but now 14, 15,000, and we buy tire na every week.
With the deplorable roads network in the town of Legendary Hospitality, many vehicle owners says the bad road network is a major cause of major road accident in the town, and their vehicle too having a deplorable state.
Maintenance, and they talk about the council say nobody can touch the road unless the government, so don't know how to do, so that is all.
Going by the World Health Organization recent report that says an average of 16,500 cases of accidents are recorded each year, with an estimated amount of 1,500 persons dying as the result of road accident in the world, with Buea having just a one stretch of major roads that is fast fading away due to the lack of road maintenance. Some inhabitants says it's time for the appropriate authority to do the needful. Many inhabitants in the town of Buea are of the opinion that if these roads are not rehabilitated in the right manner, the road accident will just redouble, making Buea a dangerous place to live.
Still in the FACO division, a project to study and update Limbe Urban Master Plan, a partnership with the City Council, Mindo, and Minipart, has been launched. Stakeholders have been urged to effectively implement the project that aims at improving the living conditions of inhabitants. Details with Limbe-based correspondent Franklin Nje.
For the past decade, the beautiful seaside resort city of Limbe in FACO Division Southwest region have been characterized with flooding, landslide, traffic congestion, insufficient street lighting, one access road into the city, just to name but these few. With the launching and putting in place of an update master plan, these challenges will be a thing of the past. This was the revelation made by its city mayor, Paul Efombe Lisombe Mbole Ngale, while launching the commencement of studies for the update of the Limbe Master Plan, which took place at the deliberating chambers of the council. In a city that play host to several mega infrastructures like the Limbe Deep Sea Port, the Sport Complex, the gas plant, Sonora, CDC, Shante Nava, coupled with a geometric increase in its population, it was but necessary to set up a master plan as explained by its city mayor.
The aspect of the Limbe Urban Master Plan, this year she has offered us 20 million francs as a bid, 120 million francs. And next year we are going to receive 90 million, another year 90 million. While we expect the rest to complete the 700 million from Enicat. And I want to assure you that today has made us, the city council, the administration of the city council, very, very, very happy, because as we launch this project, we know the vision of the city council is going to be intact.
With financial support from the Ministry of Urban Development and Housing already made available at the disposal for the commencement of the first phase with a duration for 6 months, volunteers have already been equipped and trained with a various methodology which will be applicable in areas such as landslide, flood, urban areas, where questionnaires will be collected from the city dwellers.
The first phase is going to take something like 7 months. 7 months, and the second phase usually take 10 months. So the whole of the year 2025 we are going to work on this second phase.
On his part, the senior divisional officer for FACO, Anjabe Viang Mekala, saluted the collaboration between the Limbe City Council and Minipat as well as Minindu to improve on the living condition of its inhabitants.
Many thanks, Franklin Leonga. We now take on one of our lead stories. Inhabitants in the town of Bamenda have appreciated the World Bank's approval of an additional 30 billion francs CFA for road infrastructures in that part of the country. The Minister of Public Works announced the obtained fund midweek, as we hear in the following report compiled by Aisha Beng.
Cameroon's Ministry of Public Works announced on Wednesday, June 19, 2024 that the World Bank's Board of Executive Directors have approved additional financing of 30 billion CFA francs net of taxes for the rehabilitation of the Bamenda urban crossing. The project aims to improve a 6,538-kilometer section of the Bamenda-Babaju route, stretching from the Amumezam junction to the veterinary junction. The project, which forms part of the broader Bamenda-Babaju Road Rehabilitation Initiative, aims to alleviate traffic congestion in Bamenda, the key city in the region. It will also include the recruitment of a control mission to oversee the works. Additionally, the funding will support the complaints management mechanism and third-party monitoring, which involves the local population in decision-making. It is worth noting that construction is already underway on several sections of the route, with the Babaju-Matazem section 17 kilometers already completed. Meanwhile, work is ongoing on the Matazem Welcome to Bamenda 18 km, Welcome to Bamenda École des Champions 4.93 km, and École des Champions Amumezam 4.5 km sections, all expected to be finished in 2024.
Let's talk about sport in this edition of High Review. The second edition of the Barrister Enyomo Njomo Summer Football Tournament has been launched, with Kange playing out a 1-1 draw against Brazilian. The tournament will run for 2 months and aims at promoting peace and development in Ekanda Titi. Sportsman Barrister Sono filed in that report.
That was the atmosphere following the launch of the second edition of the Barrister Eyo Njomo Summer Football Tournament in Ekunda Titi on Sunday. The tournament, launched by the DO for Ekunda Titi, will feature 8 teams such as Kange FC, Young Brazilians, Emery Eyoko, Kumbe FC, Reigning Stars, Bonjanja FC, Monday Sharp, and Lover PFC. In the electrifying opening match, it was Kange FC who held Young Brazilian of Ekunda Titi to a 1-1 draw. The tournament seeks to promote peace, living together, and social cohesion in Ekunda Titi municipality.
The population of Ekunda Titi is overcoming the fear they had yesterday.
due to all efforts that have been put in place, the security and the collaboration of the population has given another confidence in the population that everything is going on free. I want to thank the organizer for all what he's doing to see that Ekundo Titi revisit the peace they had at first.
The tournament is expected to run for 2 months and will see the training of youth in poultry and fish farming. Some were equally handed working equipment to begin implementing what they have learned.
The people have demonstrated once again their love for what I believe and what I stand for. So on this occasion of the launching of the second edition of my tournament, the Barrister Ayon Jomo Summer Football Tournament, it is a testimony here in Ekundo Titi that the people want football, the people want peace, the people want to be happy once again. I am very much emotional and happy with the turnout. I'm satisfied.
The organizer expects the competition to go on in a peaceful atmosphere.
We are there to support whatever they want. We are going to give them football made in Ekundo Titi. We are going to ensure that they play with a very peaceful atmosphere, in a very peaceful atmosphere rather, and we can only call on them to support us in this drive. We cannot do it on our own. They are there. They can observe for themselves that because the place was harmonious, the football match went hitch-free.
With the mass turnout, it is thus testament that football is once again uniting the population of Ekundo Titi and beyond, and expect fireworks for the upcoming matches.
It is here that we draw the curtains on High Review today. Many thanks for watching. I've been Cynthia Latu. Until we meet again next Saturday, God willing, to have a blessed weekend in the company of programs on High Television.